What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV, where it finished Hibs 0, Celtic 2 here at Easter Road. I've got Martin and Kenny with me. Kenny, I think coming into this game, we'd only won 4 of the last 15 league visits here. It's always a tough place for us, but I think we made light work of that and got a good start, which is important.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're clearly a different animal than what we were this time last season. A lot of sort of passive possession last season that frustrated the fans. There's absolutely nothing passive about our attacking bursts in that match. Not getting much out of the fullbacks last season. This time they're coming inside, they're flooding the midfield. Hatate running beyond the striker, we're getting in behind their fullbacks. Everything's forward. A lot of bailout passes last season for people like Kuhn because they're lacking confidence now. They're purring with confidence. Everything's forward. And teams are just really struggling to cope with it. We're a level above. Callum McGregor was just at his imperious best in the first half hour of that game. So completely dominant. What you'll find is we've not signed anyone, which is a huge source of frustration, but we've not lost anyone. And when you don't lose anyone and you've got the same manager coming into a second season, you get that. You can find yourself entering into that groove that we're seeing there. So that is one of the benefits of getting, one thing we have been doing is getting people down on long-term contracts and giving us some longevity to our playing staff. So, look, really happy. A bit of frailty, I would say, at the back. Craig Taylor was getting found out a bit down that the Hibs right-hand side. They were getting a few balls into the box. Look a little bit vulnerable at centre-back. Scales, for everything he does well, he's still a bit clumsy. He got booked early on, gave us a few nervy moments. We do need to recruit at the back.
Even Carter Vickers late on it.
Carter Vickers got muscled, which was a collector's item, yeah. But overall, you've got to be delighted. The only thing surprising was it wasn't a more polished scoreline. It should have been 4-5-0. So for the game still to be alive, getting into the final few minutes was a bit unjust. But delighted, you can't not be delighted watching a performance like that.
Yeah, Martin, as Kenny says, looks like we're just a step up for last season, collectively and individually. I think Kuhn, who gets the first goal, is a great example of that. Looks a lot sharper, a lot stronger, doesn't he?
I thought we finished the season relatively well last year. I think you can go as far back as the Hearts game at Tynecastle, that 2-0 defeat, and then after that we really kicked on because we started to get our key players back. You know, you look at the team that played that day. So I think that's somewhere in the region of 13 games with a single draw, and that was a 3-0 at Ibrox, which we should have won. So you can go that far back to say gradually our personnel started coming back. McGregor came back in the team, Hatate, Carter Vickers, players like that. It does feel a little bit like out wide we've started to see something happen, because that was probably our biggest frustration, our biggest challenge when you came to the end of the season last year. In the middle we were fine, at the back we were fine. You had the spine of the team with Kyogo, Carter Vickers, McGregor, Hatate. You thought we're fine, but out wide we're still a bit frustrated. Forrest feels a little bit like a new signing, and of course Kuhn, as Kenny said, feels like he's adding real value. And I think that's probably still where there's a question mark over, are we strong enough out wide? Have we got enough options? Are these players going to step up consistently and play well week in, week out? But overall, you have to be impressed. I do wonder whether all of a sudden it feels like Brendan Rodgers of old, that invincible team where there's such a confidence in that. I know it's too early, we're only a couple of games in, but if you add into that the pre-season games and the performances where you've got your best 11 available and some reasonably good options on the bench, and I talk about a lot, but the player retention's key. We've still got the Mattarelli thing, which I'm sure you'll come to, but I think now we've got our best squad, our best team, our best starting 11 available. We've definitely gone up a level, and Brendan Rodgers starting to develop a couple of the players as well. You can see a real difference.
Yeah, I think last season with Rodgers it seemed like the team almost weren't clear in the change for Ange to him, but it's really seems the pennies dropped and moving up a gear. Kenny, Callum McGregor announced his international retirement during the week, and then scored that's a goal of the season contender that today, and what a strike.
I mean, I just saw it on my phone there. It's a 25-yarder. I didn't realise it was of such distance when we saw it live, and he can do that. I mean, because he's a complete player, Callum McGregor. He's a brilliant captain. He's so industrious there at winning the ball back and closing down and just leading the counter press. But he's also a brilliant technician. He can score goals from anywhere. So I thought that first half of Callum McGregor is as good as I've seen him in a long time. I mean, he's always a sort of 7-8 out of 10, but he was a 10 out of 10 there. And if he can keep that up, which he's more likely to do now that he's retired from international football, because he'll get the breaks. I mean, how many seasons has he played? 50, 60 games? The volume of games he plays is incredible. So for him to get a proper 2-week rest now when the international break, it's going to bring out longevity. His career. Scott Brown benefited from it, and so he. So I was delighted with that bit of news, and it's already shown today what it's doing for the side.
Yeah, it's a brilliant goal, Martin. Second half, I thought we actually started well. First 5-10 minutes, another couple of chances. You're just looking for us to put one away and kill the game at that point. And then Hibs maybe had a wee spell in about the hour mark, a couple of balls into the box, as Kenny mentioned earlier. But again, Casper's barely had a save, has he? Don't remember one actually.
No, he hasn't. In that first half, I think it was 75% possession. We could have been and should have been probably 4-0 up. Hit the bar, had a couple of good chances, Kyogo in particular. But then second half you're thinking, can we repeat that? Can we go and get another couple of goals and just see out the game? And it didn't quite come. But still the better team. But as you say, it's almost inevitable. You're 2-0 up and the other team's going to get a spell. You know, there's no a golfing
Especially
class.
away.
Away from home, and you're thinking, you know, what's the manager said at half time? You're just trying to keep it going. But if you're 2-0 behind, it's also inevitable. You're then going to have a spell, aren't you? But you're 2-0 up, comfortable in the game. You're thinking, like, nothing daft, don't lose a goal as well. And fantastic to get another clean sheet, because again, that was part of our Achilles heel last year. We were losing goals, quite often losing more than a goal in every game, and therefore having to score 3 and 4. So fantastic to have won 4-0 last week and then 2-0 again today. So we've seen the game out. They did have a wee chance at the end with Carter Vickers mistake, didn't they? But I thought we could have another couple of goals in that second half as well. But it's a pure Hibs team. Fair to say it's a pure Hibs team, and they've tried to bring bodies in, but they're on a really bad run of form. So I'm not surprised we won today, but as you see, our record at Easter Road's always a challenge, isn't it? It certainly was for Brendan Rodgers. I think that's 2 consecutive wins now.
Yeah.
So we've turned the tide.
We'll take that. Talking about Kyogo there, Kenny obviously missed that great chance on the short pass back in the first half. And he'd won on the break in the second half where he just didn't get clean contact, doesn't go on the score sheet again, but he goes down injured once or twice and you're just worried because Johnson eventually comes on for him. And obviously that's the area of the pitch that we're really worried about, that and left back in terms of the depth. But you see how we're one Kyogo injury away from a problem.
Yeah, I mean, he's not scored the first 2 games, Kyogo, but he looks really sharp. I've been really pleased with him. Last season was really frustrating for him by his own admission. He was always, when he was playing on the shoulder last season, we just couldn't find him because we were too passive in behind him. We that spell where we played him sort of deep and played Ida in front of him, just trying to accommodate him. That didn't really work. What I noticed is he is prepared to come deep now, but he's also holding that number 9 as well. So he's sort of playing with a bit more intelligence this season, and it's allowing us to find him. The only thing that I'm surprised at is his finishing's been a bit off. Missed a good couple of chances against Kuhn. He was clean through there, and he's missed, but that'll come. He's a brilliant marksman, there's no doubt that will come, but you can't. The frustrating thing is we're into August and we're playing Mikey Johnson the last 20 minutes up front, centre forward. It's ridiculous. We should have a club our size, should have 3 strikers, and we should have them in now. We shouldn't be floundering about trying to get a second one and then playing a winger up front in an important league match at Hibs. Got to go there. It would have been a bit nervy, and we've got a far likelier chance of killing the game if we can bring on another striker that can actually play the position. So yeah, it's really precarious. We've got to get this Ida deal done for everyone's sake. We need to get it done urgently.
Yeah, absolutely agree there. Martin, obviously Matt O'Reilly speculation continues. Another Atalanta bid rejected, I think yesterday, around 20 million quid. We're just getting to that last couple of weeks of the window where you think you don't want to lose him in the last couple of days if somebody does get to that valuation, and then we've not acted quickly enough to replace him. You see again today how good he is, particularly in that first half, but that's a key one for us, and it would be massive if we could hold on to him.
It would be massive, and I mean, my gut feeling, as I said that a couple of weeks ago, my gut feeling is he will go. I think Atalanta's now up to their 4th. I mean, they're obviously keen, aren't they? It's a bit like us with Ida. You know, we've not gone away, we're not going to go away, and it's just agreeing a figure that's agreeable with both the club and the buying club and the selling club. I think it's inevitable we'll lose him. I'm really gutted to say that, but you know, dream scenario is we do manage to hold on to him, and I do wonder, because at the last window, obviously there was interest, I think Atletico Madrid, I wonder what was said to him back then about, you know, hang about and we'll maybe allow you to go at a certain price. But I suspect, and I've read some rumours that Celtic are looking for closer to 25, and have been offered 20. So will a 25 million bid come in? I think he's absolutely worth that. You look at his age and his profile and his development and what he's contributed. I mean, his assists and his goals are up there with the best in Europe, and I know he's playing the Scottish Premier League, but nevertheless he's made a huge contribution, and it will leave a big gap. You could argue it's one of the areas of the pitch where we have got a little bit cover, not copious amount of cover, but we have got some cover in. But I think it's inevitable we'll move on, and to Kenny's point on, the more reason why we should be out trying to spend some of the money that's almost guaranteed to come in the way. And you do wonder whether waiting on that sale being secured just to spend, but I don't think any of us are convinced even then that we're guaranteed to spend money, but that's what we're looking for, and I think the strikers are number 1 position.
Yeah, and there's certainly no excuses for that given the financial position of the club either. Kenny, man of the match today. Again, that first half, lots of candidates. Who is it for you?
I would give it to McGregor. Obviously the quality of the goal in itself is almost a man of the match moment, but his all-round play was superb. Just real leadership, just dynamism. The amount of attacks, I mean, they just didn't stand a chance against him. It's one of those matches you watch him and you think he's just a level above the other 21 players on the park. We need to give a special mention to Kuhn though. I'm very sceptical of Kuhn given his outings last season, but he's been excellent pre-season in these first 2 games, and he was brilliant there, cutting them open, the quality of his touches, forward passing, scored a goal again. His numbers are getting good, so Kuhn's one to watch for us in a positive way. Yeah, I'm going to give it to Kuhn. I think couldn't maybe have another goal in the second half. He just lingered too long on it, but impressed with the improvement in him. Martin, who is it for you?
Kuhn for me, I think he's involved in both goals, wasn't he? He's coming on. I mean, McGregor's one of those players that most weeks plays well, and similar to Kenny, delighted that he's made the decision he's made. But I think Kuhn just for me.
Yep. There you go, that's it for Full Time Reaction here from Easter Road. Like the video, comment your own thoughts below, please don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you very soon. Thank you.